What's going on, HPP fam? Welcome back to another episode. We just got back from the track on Friday. Today's Monday now, but as you guys either just witnessed or you're gonna see, we took the truck to the track and did a little racing, and we ended up not making it. It was 4 rounds. We only made it to the second round. I ended up red lighting. It happens. Pulling our Ram off the dyno this week. First thing, we're gonna go take it for a test drive, get it on back to the customer. It's all done. I'm just letting it warm up. And we got to get ripping on getting our Circle D converter into this charger. So let me put down the camera, let me get some things situated, and we'll get rocking and rolling. As you guys can see, we've got our beautiful Circle D converter out here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing filled up with fluid, remove the stock unit, and get this bad mamma jamma jammed in there. As you can see, it's stabbed back up in there. I'm gonna go ahead and get these torque converter bolts in and keep pushing along and getting this trans all back in there. So, as you can see, we've got her all wrapped up and all back together. So, let's drop this thing down, reconnect the battery, get her onto the dyno. So guys, as you can see, we've got our giant, I gotta keep backing up, this thing's so big. We got our giant 37-inch tall tired Ram Power Wagon in the shop. And we are installing a set of long tube headers. So, I've already popped the ECU out of this thing and shipped it off. Did that yesterday. And we are gonna get rocking and rolling on doing the headers on this thing. I don't know how many of you guys have done headers on these Power Wagons. You know, it is equipped with a 6.4 liter Hemi. This one's got a lot of aftermarket goodies already done to it, and unfortunately that's going to make it slightly more difficult to get this job done, but we're going to get rocking and rolling after it. Side note, when we walk out here, it's going to get bright on you. We're waiting on our customer to pick up his Stage 2 Texas Speed cammed Ram. This one was the 5.7 with the 6.1 intake manifold, long tube headers, exhaust, and a tune that we did. He should be here to pick up today. And then our converter job that we had is all ready and waiting for the customer to pick up as well. And we added a little extra touch, the wicker bill. So the wicker bill got knocked out on this thing while it was here. Nice little carbon edition as the L1 add-ons wicker bill. So this one's all wrapped up, going home too. But ooh, Blurple Moon looking good. Not really, she's dirty, but hey, you can't tell. Let's get back in here and get on this Ram. All right, so guys, I want to touch on something that I know I've touched on before, but this is kind of a special case. So behind me I have a 2023 Ram Power Wagon with a 6.4. I know I've talked about it earlier in this video, but and I may have called it a different year model, but build date is 11 of 2022. That makes it a 2023. I don't care what anybody says. This truck's got 6,000 miles on it, beautifully modified with a few little goodies here and there, and we were installing a set of American Racing long tube headers. And There's no videos online. There's one video. It's got 40 views. It's terrible. With somebody doing long tubes and taking a tune on one of these. So there's not many people modifying them, and if there are, they're not posting content. We post our content. So I didn't get baseline numbers on this thing because I wanted to get rocking and rolling on it. I don't have a lot of time in my shop to be messing around. Well, unfortunately, I have burnt a ton of time on this truck. It is no walk in the park doing a set of long tube headers on one of these things. There's so many things going on underneath them, so much bracing, and so on and so forth underneath these trucks. I'll slide under here in just a second. I have removed both of the manifold assemblies. The customer supplied all the parts for this project, and I looked them over. Everything looked good, but we've never done one of these before. So I pulled the stock manifold, started on the passenger side, putting on the new header, and as I was getting the header up in there, I noticed it wouldn't quite fit. It was hitting the brake line bracket on the passenger side. So I went ahead and just removed the bracket, moved the brake line down, got the header in, with the intentions of putting the bracket back up in its place. Once the header is in its home, perhaps everything has clearance. Got the header all installed. I didn't check if it necessarily had clearance to go back. I was planning on just addressing it after the fact. So after I got everything else done, if the bracket needed to be moved, shaved, modified, whatever the case may have been, because there's no instructions, I was just going to do that because that's what we do. We get the project done, get everything form, function, working correctly. If we got to modify something, we modify. Of course, with customer submission first. But so I went to go to the passenger side, and I did notice when I was removing the factory manifold, these trucks are equipped with an EGR. And when I grabbed the new header and removed the covering off of it, it did not have the provision for the EGR. So after getting my butt whooped on removing the factory manifolds and starting to install the headers on this thing, I quickly realized this project needs to come to a screeching halt. We need to reach out to the customer. We do not warranty any customer supplied parts for this very reason, because sometimes you get the wrong part, wrong year model, whatever the case may be. So because of that, we stopped, called the customer, we verified with the customer's order on what he ordered from American Racing Headers, and he ordered the right system. So I'm assuming that it wasn't the customer this particular time that dropped the ball. It may have been the manufacturer themselves that dropped the ball. So we have reached out to American Racing Headers. We are waiting on a response to see what they'll do. In the meantime, I've removed the other header I installed, just in case they want both of them back. I don't know, and I know that's a little bit of extra work without knowing the actual answer, but in my 20 plus years of doing this, typically the companies want their stuff back, and they'll send you all new stuff to make it right or make it whole again. So let me slide under here and show you what we got on this truck, just so you guys at home can get a better idea of what these power wagons come with. They're really nice trucks. But let's slide down here, take a peek. So up front here, you see you got a beautiful Warren winch. Got your rack and pinion, you got your steering stabilizer, you've got your electronic sway bar, front diff, your other stabilizer bar, and then this is what she looks like underneath. So as you can see, there is our EGR provision, and you can see the frame is extremely close to the cylinder head. It is very tight down here. Drive shaft, and then give me 1 second here, let me flip it around. I know it's dark. Here's our other side, and there's that bracket I was talking about. It's still loose right now, but I had moved it all the way down here to install the header, and it actually bolts up somewhere. There's a hole, bolts up right there. So I want to leave that loose and leave that knock sensor loose and hanging until I get the new header, or until they figure out what's going on. But very interesting trucks. You know, there's a lot of bracing under here. I know the footage is going to look a little wonky because I'm flipping the camera upside down and stuff, but just so you guys can see, these trucks have a ton of bracing. So slide back out. So guys, to recap, this blows, and I'm gonna put that lightly that this blows, because this is not an easy one. That 2500 series frame with the 6.4 motor adds a different layer of difficulty, because we've done tons of 5.7 1500s, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. So interesting enough, but cool looking truck. That's what's going on, and that's what's ate this week up. But we're going racing tomorrow with the S10 again. I know you guys just seen the footage from that previous race. We did make some changes, so hopefully the truck gets faster and we set some new times. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull in our next vehicle and get started, and let's see what happens by Friday. Well guys, we're gonna close out this video with, we shipped both of our headers off to ARH, American Racing Headers. One side is getting the EGR added on that was not added on, and then they wanted us to send the other one because I told them I had to remove the brake line mount to get the header in, and I didn't think it would go back once the header was in. So they said send them both in, we're going to put them on our fixtures and make sure they're both right. So unfortunately, our power wagon's stuck. Worst case scenario, I'll push it outside, but it's a nice truck. I'm gonna try to keep it inside. Our ECU came back for it, so I can get that installed. Pulled the intake manifold on this car, doing some checking. I think there's an air leak. And we're going to swap our TCM module. Oh, darken this up a little bit. We're about to head outside. TCM module and that one. So we're gonna figure out what's going on with all of that. In the meantime, we're loaded up for the track. And then George, I don't know if you remember this car, we did a stage 2 tech speed cam. It just got dropped off a little bit ago. You guys will be seeing every in and out of this car next week, baby. We are getting in it, we are diving in deep. So this thing is getting an oil pump, ATI balancer, nitrous kit, what else? Injectors, going E85. I mean, this thing's getting the works. So you guys make sure you stick around for that one. It's gonna be dope. Don't forget, go to the highpsi.com website, pick you guys up some merch, some shirts, help us out. New merch is coming soon. But that's gonna do it for this week's episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.